New tips and secrets for breeding and keeping Caridina shrimp in 2024. What a year 2024 has been so far. I've learned and tried a few new things with my shrimp tanks to make them even more successful. It's a never-ending learning process, and I'm here to share my findings with you in this video. Hey there, Ray here, your go-to guide for all things aquatic on RW Aquarium pages. Whether you're a loyal subscriber swimming back for more, or a brand new friend just diving into our underwater world, a warm welcome to you. Get ready to join me in an exciting journey through the lush aquascapes of planted aquariums, the bustling life of shrimp tanks, and every watery wonder in between. We're about to deep dive into the aquatic adventure together. I've been keeping and breeding Caridina shrimp since around 2003, starting with the Caridina tiger shrimp. I've had many ups and downs and lost a lot of shrimp, which is financially and mentally draining. My purpose of this channel is to capture my adventures and also to wish everyone success in their shrimp keeping journey. I have 3 pillars of successful shrimp keeping. The first one is stable water parameters within range. The second one is quality source of shrimp, and the third one is patience. First thing I'll mention here is the pH. I notice when the active substrate exhausts, the pH will drift. Although it's expensive and not everyone can afford to have a constant pH monitors on their tank, I have a few on a few selected tanks to monitor the pH. I find for higher end Caridina shrimp, the B and crystal, they do better in pH of less than 6. I keep mine mostly at 5.5. When the pH starts to drift, it's either time to replace the buffering substrate or to reset the tank. I've had one tank that drifted to 6.8 and then to 7, and I had no baby shrimplet survival or very little, so I find this very important. I have a detailed video about pH effects on shrimp on my channel. GH, general hardness, or the TDS of GH, is very important in terms of the shrimp's health and molting of their shells, their exoskeleton. GH is basically a measure of magnesium and calcium in the water in very simple terms. I find that when people mention that they have molting issues, it's typically due to the GH being off. So check your GH or TDS, and if you notice the shrimp having molting issues. It doesn't need to be exact to the 0.001 degree of hardness, but it's important to be within range. I have a video on water parameters on my channel. The first 2 tips are related to water parameters. Active soil helps buffer the pH and the hardness of the water so it's within good range for your Caridina shrimp. But keep in mind, these active substrate will exhaust. What you can do is what I do is have a constant pH monitor in the tank, and if the pH starts to rise, it's time to reset the tank or to replace the buffering substrate. So what I'm trying to say is, sometimes it's time to replace the substrate, and sometimes it's time to reset the aquarium. I typically replace my substrate every 8 to 9 months with the thin soil layer method, and reset the tanks every 2 years, or if I see other issues such as deaths in my Caridina aquariums. The next tip is also related to water. I have changed over to the thin layer method of substrate and replace it often. It ensures that there's not too much of a buildup of waste in the substrate and keeping the aquarium non-toxic for your precious shrimp. Not all my aquariums are using a thin layer approach, but I'm slowly and surely switching them over one by one. This next tip is a game changer for sure. Using black water or dark extract. Adding a few milliliters to my water change and water top up made a huge difference. There are many different brands. I've used Brightwell, Salty Shrimp, and currently using Aquareal's Neo Dark. They're basic Indian almond leaf juice or a mixture of fluvic and humic acid. My friend makes his own in his wife's pressure cooker with Indian almond leaves. What these substances do is it mimics the natural habitat with leaf litter and lowers the pH. You'll need to play around with the amounts to add and which brand. I add about 5 milliliters per 10 gallon or 1 milliliter per gallon of water change. It brings the pH steadily to 5.5, which in my opinion is necessary for these higher end Caridina shrimp that have been bred in lower pH water. I've been using this product consistently for the last year with great success. I've dabbled with it a few years ago and found it to be interesting. One key tip is to get the shrimp from a good quality source. Don't go for the bottom basement cheapest ones. I know it's an expensive hobby, and sometimes financially it's better to save up for the quality shrimp than to rush into things and get some subpar quality shrimp. This is very important, and I highly recommend high quality locally bred one if possible at first, and then search nationally and then search internationally for patterns that you're looking for. It's also true that German and Asia shrimp hobby scene is much more advanced than the North American scene, which I'm currently located in. The next tip is a 2-in-1, mature tank. Not just a freshly cycled tank, but a tank that's mature and full of microfauna and biofilm to support the shrimp colony. In nature, shrimp are scavengers and they eat biofilm. One thing I found that improves the growth of green dust algae on the walls is to use older technology, T5HO light bulbs. Although not environmentally friendly, and in some areas it's actually banned, these lights help promote algae on the green walls a lot better. So consider adding a few tubes to your shrimp aquariums. The last tip is don't overfeed. I made a video on my channel about people typically overfeeding their shrimp aquariums. Depends on the biofilm and algae in your aquarium and the number of shrimp in there, it makes a difference on how much and how often you should feed your shrimp. Try not to overfeed and it will cause excess waste that makes the water more toxic. These are my latest tips that I truly believe will help you succeed as a shrimp keeper. Do you have any tips to share with others? Let's discuss and grow together. I absolutely love sharing my experiences, success and failures with everyone. It's just so exciting to document my journey in planted shrimp tanks and to share it with others. Stay tuned for more informative videos, as I've got plenty of content in store for you. Thanks for watching and listening to my rambles. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome day and happy shrimp keeping.